Today we are distilling Star Anise. Here's some that I prepared earlier, ready for distillation. I think it's going to be delicious. How's it going, chasers? I hope you're having a kick-ass week. I'm Jesse, this is Still It, and today, like I said, we're distilling Star Anise. 100% Star Anise, that's all the flavouring that's going into this. And I believe it's going to end up tasting somewhat like ouzo. Of course, I don't think it's going to be exactly like a Greek-style ouzo because it's only Star Anise. That generally has anise or aniseed in it, depending on where you're from and what you want to call it. Yes, it is different stuff. This is Star Anise. This is aniseed. Ouzo often has fennel, not what we're doing today, but all of those flavors are so similar. I had Star Anise on hand and I just wanted to try it. I think it's going to be worth doing ouzo properly in the future, but this is a nice little test run for it. Super simple and super freaking easy for you guys to follow along and do at home, which is awesome. But now I think it's time to get you guys caught up on what I have sitting in this jar. So super freaking easy. It is 1 litre of 40% or 80 proof vodka. I used the wheat vodka that I made a little while ago. That turned out really well. The more I use it, the more I enjoy it, and the more I realize actually that it is a good step up from what I've done in the past. So if you're interested in making some vodka, check that recipe out in the description down below. Anyway, a litre of that stuff plus 20 grams of Star Anise went in on top. I had a look at it, I eyeballed it, and I thought it's probably not quite enough. So I put another 10 grams in. That's 30 grams in total, which is, I've got no freaking idea. Americans, this in 3 minutes. Anyway, I let that macerate for, it's been a little bit over 24 hours. So I think anything 24 hours to probably 48 hours in that kind of window is what we're aiming for. And because I'm going to use the wee mini spot pot still, I have faith that this isn't going to scorch at all. So I'm just going to tip the whole damn lot into the pot, Star Anise and all. Am I going to regret this? I don't know. We'll find out. But I've done it plenty of times, and it hasn't let me down yet. I've yet to actually scorch anything in this thing. And trust me, I've given it hell. I'm going to be disgusting and give it the old finger treatment. 2 fingers, because one is just like some analogy about sausages in hallways. Oh, God. It wasn't supposed to go there, but it did. Anyway, 2 fingers worth. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, actually. It is slightly bitter, but I think that's going to get lost during distillation. It's definitely a whole lot of aniseed bomb, that's for sure. And I know I don't normally use a lot of sugar and stuff, but this is one of those things that I 100% think has to have sugar, and I think the sugar is going to bring the flavor out. You know, it's just going to amplify it. It's going to season it and make the flavor really pop. Anyway. So, all of it's in the pot. I need to make sure this is actually plugged in. Damn it, where's my extension cable? Bam. There we go. We get the little mini pot still all put together, which is super freaking easy, obviously. You guys have seen me use this before. And we get it warming up. I'll be real with you guys, I have no idea what to expect. Generally, when I distill botanicals in this little bad boy, I take, for something this size, maybe 25, 50 mils off the beginning and ditch it. Perhaps because the alcohol wasn't, quite distilled cleanly the first time around. I think with this vodka, I'm going to be fine with that. But more importantly, because there's just some weird flavors that come out of most botanicals right at the beginning. They don't taste like what you expect from that specific botanical. So I'm expecting to have to do the same thing with this. I don't know. Anyway, I won't bore you with any more chit chat. I'll cut back when this thing is giving us first drips. Maybe 20 minutes later, we're underway, and this is, I'm going to take a tiny little taste of this. Yeah, it's not horrible. It's slightly hot. It's probably fine. It just tastes not like Star Anise. It doesn't have that kind of warming clove-like sensation in your mouth. And it's slightly lemony, actually, strangely enough. This, on the other hand, now, just like even, I don't know, 50 mils later, Star Anise bomb. 100% Star Anise. And the interesting thing going forward from here is that generally, with a run like this, with botanicals in a pot still, or botanicals in a vapor bath, or whatever, you go through stages of getting different flavors coming off the still based on kind of when the components from the botanicals come over. It's kind of like a gradient of all of the flavors in the pot, and it's always fun to see what comes out where, because oftentimes it's surprising to me. This tastes 100% like Star Anise. So what's it going to taste like in 10 minutes, in 20 minutes? I don't know. Are there different components within Star Anise that I haven't really thought about? Perhaps. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, let me go and ditch this. I've really got no use for it at this point in time. I'll come back to you either at the end of the run or during the run if something else shows up. So that is still over 80% and pretty damn similar. A little bit juicier, more sweet, more like real black licorice-y like. Pretty much the same though. Now we're at 65% and it's starting to get, maybe have another nudge. Still Star Anise, but it's starting to get a little bit dusty and a little bit more spice-like rather than licorice-like, if that makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. Nutmeg and cumin, maybe? I think we're getting near the end of the run here. I think it's okay right now. So what I'm going to do is switch this out so I can tip this straight into the jar. And if it turns to crap, I didn't lose what was in there. You know what? We're getting real close to it tasting not a lot like anything. I wonder what percentage we're at now. I'm guessing it's dropping really quick. So let's see. Yeah, we're down like just below 60%. And one more time. Yep. Yeah, that's not good. It's starting to taste almost sulfury, actually. Yeah, we're going to leave that out. Yeah, well, okay. So if I hadn't switched that over, I probably would have lost, I don't know, almost 100 mils worth of good product. So now I'm going to proof this down to 45% ABV. I'm a little bit cautious that it is going to loosh, and add some sugar. Now, I'm not feeling particularly accurate today, so what I'm going to do is just eyeball some water. Aim for significantly higher, like I'm aiming what I think would make about 60% ABV, and then I'm just going to test it with this little jobby here and keep doing it until I'm about right. Yep, so I thought that was going to be 60, it's taken it all the way down to 55 though, so I was over-guesstimating a little. Of course, if you want to do it by the numbers, there's calculators on the Chase the Craft website. Feel free, obviously, to measure it out properly and do that. Obviously, too, you can do this with a alchemeter, like a hydrometer style alchemeter. Just keep in mind that as you add water to alcohol, it's going to warm up. You need to account for that, or at least be aware of it if you're using a hydrometer. 45%, excellent. These little jobbies are awesome, by the way. You cannot use a standard refractometer, a bricks refractometer for this. It's completely the wrong scale. But these are great. As you can see, they're super easy and fast to use, and they're not that expensive. This is a total El Cheapo, and I would trust it about the same as an alchemeter, like not a precision alchemeter, but just purely on like being able to read the scale and adjust the temperature and everything. I think it's just as accurate. So I've seen a lot of places recommend 20 to 30 grams of sugar for this amount. I'm going to go on the cautious side of things to start with. And I think what I'm going to do is just add 10 grams to be cautious and try it first. So we're just going to add that on in there and give it a really good stir. And I'll be real with you guys. I'm not entirely sure if that's the sugar not entirely dissolved yet, or whether it has in fact looshed. Yeah, I think it's just little bubbles and the sugar not being fully dissolved, so that's going to clear up as it sits. But let's just give that a nudge as well and see how we think it's tasting. So much Star Anise. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That is like opening a bag of good, like real black licorice, not the plasticky crap, the like nice, soft, super anise and licorice root sort of flavored licorice, funnily enough. Smells so good. Black jelly beans, 100% black jelly beans. If you don't like black jelly beans, you are not going to love this. If you like black jelly beans, you're going to be all over it. Anyway. Oh man, that is good. That is really good. But I can see why people add more sugar to it. You know, you have a nice meal and you're actually full, but you don't quite feel satisfied. Bam, this. From my days of smoking, it's like having a cigarette after a meal. Horrible, I know, but it's that kind of, that's 100% how I would drink it. So you know what? I'm going to put another 10 grams in. And then I think I'm going to call it quits. But we shall see. I need to say a huge, huge thank you to the Patreons. Thank you so much, Patreons, for being the people that are, you know, supporting the channel day in and day out. And this video was 100% suggested by a Patreon. Thanks, James. I appreciate it, mate. And a bunch of other people too, but James especially. Thank you. So, now with 20 grams of sugar in there, well, 21 grams actually, that is 100% better. 100% better. It bolsters up that sweet, like the natural sweetness that comes from the Star Anise. That has that, I don't know, it's like a Splendor or Stevia or like licorice root. All of those sweetnesses that aren't sweetnesses, I guess. It's not actually sugar. It's the impression of sweetness. And it sits on your tongue like sugar, but it's not. That natural phenomenon in the Star Anise is dialed up a whole lot with the extra sugar in this. And the other thing that's really interesting is that it cuts away the alcohol finish and lets the flavor itself sit on your tongue, like all through your mouth, actually completely coats your mouth for much, much longer. So I'm totally on board with putting 20 grams of sugar in this. I think it's the right decision. The question is, how do you drink it if you're not going to just drink it straight? And I am going to go on record and just take a punt and say this will be delicious with orange juice. It's a complete punt. Seems about right. I feel like that might be a thing. Is that a thing with ouzo? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below how you would drink this stuff. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in the comment section down below pretending to throw up because they're weak. And they don't like black licorice. They eat that red crap. I'm teasing, of course, guys. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please help me out. Do all the YouTube things. Like, hit the like button, comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. They cost you nothing except for a few seconds to do it. And trust me, guys, it really helps me out. I would thoroughly appreciate it. More important than all of that, I'll catch you next time. Keep on chasing the craft, guys. See ya.